Good morning and welcome to your midweek. Let's not go there. You know what yesterday was like. Let's start again. Welcome to your midweek edition of Wake Up Call. I hope you are well. If you didn't see yesterday, you will have not known that we have got a cracking day lined up today. That is for sure. We have got cards, we've got projects, we've got inspiration galore when it comes to many of our products here on Crafters TV. Not only that, we do have another special guest as well. So I'm going to bring them both in because it's the first time we've worked together in such a long time. Me and Jan, we are back together again.
We certainly are.
And we've got Jamie as well.
We've got Jamie with us as well, yes. So you've been outdone by all the J's today.
I know.
We've got Jamie, we've got Jan, we've got Johnny in the gallery, we've got John and Jake outside.
I never thought
so
of that.
yeah, way too many J's today we have.
Taking over.
Loads, isn't there? Loads and loads.
Yeah, Jarlett's changed her name.
She has, yeah.
So you'll have to be Jake today.
I'll be Jake.
Yeah,
We'll all be J's. We'll all be J's.
Yeah, we'll all be J's. But yeah,
I really
great
have.
to be back.
It's so good to have you back. So you were saying it's been a couple of weeks since you've
It
been
has
here.
been just over a couple of weeks. Just the way the calendar falls.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys out there are always messaging me,
I know,
which
yeah.
is lovely. You know, they're always saying, when are you back on, when are you back on? And I really appreciate that. And I've said many a time that I do only work part-time, so I'm not here as regularly as some of you guys are. But it suits me, it suits my lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy it when I'm here. But yeah, we've got absolutely cracking day lined up. So for my part of the day, I'm here for an hour this morning on Wake Up Call, then I'm going to hand the reins over to Jamie. And then we've got Leanne here for a craft along this afternoon, and then I'm back at 6 o'clock. So just to give you a little taster of things that are coming up, our Leanne's going to do a lot of work with our Aqua markers and the watercolor techniques today, and she's probably the best person on the team to actually come and talk to you about this. Now, I've got a little demo lined up with some of these this morning for you, but as I say, not in Leanne's sort of league. So just to give you a couple of ideas, I'm actually going to use this stamp in a slightly different way. You know me, I like to do things differently. And then again, you know, sort of even done onto vellum. Absolutely beautiful. And then what I've done is I've just snuck, because this one had just come in, I've just snuck this one in, because this, if you're wanting to craft along with our Leanne this afternoon, this is what she's going to be making. And I just think, I opened it up, and honestly, there are so many different techniques on there with the watercolour system that she's actually going to be able to talk through with you in real time at 2 p.m. here today in the afternoon. So I know that that is absolutely stunning. I mean, the butterflies are very popular, but just looking at it, I can see probably 4 or 5 different techniques on there using the pens alone. So great. That's coming up with Leanne at 2 o'clock. And then later on, for Beautiful Beginnings, which is the first time I've actually done the show with its new name. Yeah. But I have literally taken it right back to basics, and we've got, these are absolutely gorgeous. We've got the ribbon threading dies on. So we're going to do a demo with these this morning just to sort of tempt you, but I'm going to take it right back to basics later on. So if you're just starting your journey in craft, tonight's show is a really good one for you to watch at 6 o'clock tonight here in the UK. So literally dies that are almost a bit like a creator card die, but they actually pop the holes in where you can thread not just ribbon. I'm going to show you some of the other things that you can pop through there as well. We've called them ribbon threading dies, but I'm going to show you some of the other things. And then I've also got some elements from, again, really popular one, this one was, the Hummingbird collection later on. And again, I've got a really nice demo lined up with this one. So depending on how you like to actually pop your cards together, you can just see, you know, doing them as that little circular easel there. And then we've got one done. There is a lovely tag set in that collection, which I've got on tonight. And again, you can actually use that to make your cards in the shape of the tag. So that's at 6 p.m. for Beautiful Beginnings. So yeah, really busy day.
It really is.
And then of course, we've got our Jamie as well, haven't we? So
they looked incredible. I said very quiet, but they are absolutely incredible.
Thank you. That's our design team.
Cards.
I can't take any credit for those at all.
Beautiful.
They're all being done by the design team, so couldn't do it without them.
Not at all, not at all. But from one incredible set of ideas and inspiration from another one, also is first time we worked together for a wee while as well.
It has been a while, yes.
That's why it's a day that I've been really, really looking forward to. And you have
Absolutely.
equally got some incredible dyes collections with you today, haven't you?
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully you're going to enjoy these. So we've got two collections we're bringing for you today. We've got my collection, which is the Pierced collection. I'll talk more about that in a second. And we also have Sue Wilson Slimline collection that she's brought out for Christmas this year. So a whole set of nesting dies and panel dies that can be brought together to create effects such as these. Really elegant, very easy to use, and of course a very popular size to play with. When we talk about my piercing dies, these are the effects that we can achieve with those. So they're already pierced. I know that's not easy to see on this camera, but pierced out for you, so you've got that really intricate detail as well as the cutting. And then they lend themselves to creating different effects such as faux stitching with them. You can also pierce them, or you can actually stitch them properly if you'd like to, or back them with just some vellum. We seem to have a bit of a vellum thread going on today, don't we?
Absolutely beautiful.
I was very excited when I saw the listing, because like after our Crafter's Companion, and I'm not just saying this, you know this because you know me, but Creative Expressions are probably my next favourite company. I've got loads and loads of your products.
Thank you.
So yeah, very excited.
There's loads, lots and lots going on. You know, I'd probably say as well, when it comes to Sue Wilson, you know how you see teen girls out there that will hyperventilate when they see Harry Styles? That's probably what I would be like if I see Sue Wilson. I just think she's an absolute legend. She's an icon in the craft industry, and I briefly met her many years ago in another craft in life, and hopefully one day get to meet her again. But yeah, so we've got really lovely collections from you, Jamie, from Sue, as well as some other Creative Expression goodies. What you can actually do is you can start to mix and match. Why not bring some of what Jamie's bringing today with what we are going to be having a look at? This is our Aqua Pen Mega Bundle. Now, within this one here, you are going to be saving over 35%. Now, today's price is £90 or $120. If you are platinum, that is going to come down to £72 or $96. You have got a lovely starter but mega bundle collection here. So you've got your cardstock, you've got your Aqua pens, and you've also got your Aqua brush planes as well. Now, what I do want to point out is everything that you can see on the screen there. There is two other options. You can get the tri-colour marker collection. So when it comes to the tri-colour marker collection, that is where you're going to save over 25%. That's going to be £25 or $35. There is another option where we have got our Aqua pens. This is the 36 pen collection. So you're going to save over 25%, and that's going to be £65 or $85. So maybe you just want to go for one or the other. That's great. If you go for them both together in the mega bundle, this is where you're going to get your pen set for free. So this is your clear sparkle overlay. So if you go for the two options I've just said, they're in the mega bundle. If you go for it in the mega bundle, it works out that you're getting the clear sparkle overlay pen for free. So perfect having that option there. Maybe you can't quite reach it. Maybe you don't want the mega bundle. You just want to have a selection of certain pen collections. We've got them here across on the website. Best place to go, as always, is our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.eu. Go across to Shop the Day. You'll see everything that we're going to be featuring throughout today on Crafters TV, not just with Jan and Leanne, but of course with Jamie as well. We've got some comments coming in thick and fast already. We've got Ashley on the comments for the first hour, giving us a helping hand. We've got Sarah Brown on Facebook saying, hello, my crafty friends. I'm sending you hugs from Melbourne, Australia. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing well. Jan, are you doing well?
I am doing well. Thank you very much, Sarah. It's good to see you.
She's
always with us, bless her. Doesn't matter what time it is, she's always there.
Always.
It's lovely to know that you're out there, Sarah.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is.
Nice to hear. We've got Rhiannon saying hello, also from Australia, Barrett, Australia. Jeanette saying good morning. Carol saying good morning. Craig and Jan from Tennessee. We've also got Craig Rancourt saying, hi Ashley, and to the CCTV team. And crafty friends. Alison saying, good morning, looking forward to Leanne's Craft Along. And Debbie saying, good morning from New York. Raining here, that Craft Along card looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it just? Keep your comments coming in. Maybe you're really excited to see Leanne on the craft along. Really excited to see what Jan's going to be bringing us when it comes to today's show. We are going to have a look again in a little bit more detail of that mega bundle. But your takes, Jan, what is it that you love about these?
What about the watercolours?
Yeah.
I just love how many different techniques you can do. As you know, I am quite a lover of alcohol colouring.
Yeah.
So if I'm just wanting to sit and colour, I love the alcohol pens. But the watercolour pens bring so many different techniques, and that's what Leanne's going to encompass in the craft along. As I say, looking at the card, I can see 4 or 5 different techniques that she's going to be able to teach you in real time this afternoon. So anything that's water-based, whether it be your Aqua pens, whether it be your ink pads, whether it be sparkle pens, whether it be the little sparkle pots, anything like that, there's all the different techniques that you can do with them. And I'm going to show you a couple this morning. I've brought my tricolours, and I've actually got 4 sets in here, Craig, but I think we've just got 3 on the show. So it's actually the first set of 3 there, the second set, and this set that we've got in that bundle this morning.
Perfect.
All right, but there is a 4th set. I'm just assuming that stock levels are maybe a bit lower for our bundle this morning.
Just to say
so they're probably available individually. But yeah, there are 4 sets, and each one of these has got 3 different colours in.
Awesome.
So you actually get 12 pens, but 36 different shades. And again, you know, that is slightly different. If you're familiar to the tri-blend pens, the alcohol, those are 3 shades of the same colour family. With the Aqua, we can actually put you 3 different colours in. So for example, this one's got rose pink, jasmine, which is a nice lemon yellow, and then tulip, which is a lovely, matches the pink tulip ink pad range beautifully. And those are colours that we've chosen that will mix together as well, because obviously when you start mixing, you know, the sort of the rose pink with the yellow, you're going to get an apricot-y tone. So yeah, we've actually put 3 colours in there that will work nicely together. So I'm actually going to use this one along with the shades of green, and these are both from the floral collection that are in that mega bundle today. And I think we've got the wallet on as well, Craig, haven't we? Yeah, which I keep mine in.
It's just coming up on the bottom of your screen, as you were saying, Jan. It's,
wow.
It's actually limited stock. Not many left. 12 marker storage wallet, $11.99 or $16.95. So worthwhile. It's nice to store, isn't it?
It is. I keep mine in here. These are actually mine from home, and I keep. Although I managed to get them in upside down, I'm not quite sure why. The reason, well, I do know why. I took them all out to put them back into their colour families that they're done in the boxes, and obviously I had the folder upside down, but it doesn't really matter. But it fits all the collections in there beautifully. I just keep them in the sets of 3 that they've come in their boxes. You've got a little zip pocket on the back, and if I do forget which is which, I just kept the tops off the boxes so that I know which colour family is in which particular collection. And I've also got my colour chart in there as well, which gives you all the different colour combinations and some hints and tips. So yeah, really nice. It's got a little handle on there as well, so you know, if you're taking it with you, it's beautiful. And you've just got, it's just compact. I know that whenever I want my Aqua markers, there they go in the actual frame. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to bring in some watercolour card. I'm going to bring in my craft mat as well. So this is actually our A3 craft mat, and I've just cut it in half because it's easier for me to work with on that size. I've got some watercolour card here. I've got the 2 sets of pens that I need. Producer Johnny will be ecstatic that my heat tools make. Yeah, there he goes, look. First demo for you, Johnny, this morning. We've got the heat tool in there.
This is legendary.
And I'm also, because we've got those in that bundle as well, I've got my clear overlay sparkle pen as well. And I'm going to use this as my paintbrush to pick up some of the colours when we start colouring in. So again, a couple of techniques. The first one's going to be the background technique, and I actually want to start off with the pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this slightly to the side, because if I put my ink on here, you can see it better than if it goes onto the brown craft mat. So I've got some of the pink tulip, and I've got a little bit of the rose. Beautiful shades.
They really are, aren't they?
And then what I'm going to do is just take my mister, which has just got ordinary tap water in, and I'm going to spritz gently. I don't want to saturate the card, but I do want it to be wet. And then I'm going to pop a little bit of water on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the light one first, just dilute it a bit with water, and then splash it into the wet. And because the card's already wet, it sort of takes the ink and starts moving it about. And you can see the difference. If I just show you this part here, it's very, very pale. I'll do it with the darker colour in a second. This one's not moved anywhere, which suggests that there wasn't any water on that bit. But if you just spritz it, it will start moving it about.
Doesn't it?
And if I take some of that darker one, you'll be able to see a little bit better. It wicks into the water. And I just think it makes a really, really pretty background. So again, just all over the card. There's not really any technique involved other than just splattering. It doesn't matter where it goes. If you get a little bit too much, you can mop it up with some tissue. I've just noticed I've got a nice little splatter going on at the side of me, but I will tidy that up. Okay.
That looks fab.
And then again, the card will curl. Just because we've wet it, it will curl, but it dries out once we heat it. Okay, and then when I finish with that pink layer, I'm actually going to take the heat tool and I've turned it on. Can you hear it?
I can't believe that. Cannot believe it.
I had a lady message me the other day to see where I got it from, but to be honest, I don't think they make this particular one anymore. I've had it that long. It's actually melted on the edge, look. You can see here where it's melting.
So it has.
Honestly, it's well loved and well used. And I'm dreading the day that it decides to retire.
Yeah.
I'm dreading it. Part of me thinks I should get a new one ready, but the other part of me thinks I don't want to make it think that it's done with.
No,
if I buy a
no,
new
not
one,
at
I don't
all.
want it to think that that it's done its job. So I'm just dabbing some of those areas that I've got a little bit more water on there, just to make sure we've got it not perfectly dry, because I'm going to add a second colour.
Okay.
The card will always manipulate back into place. And then what I'm going to do is just take this off here, and I'm going to bring in those green tones. So again, we've got bud green, which is sort of like a mid green. And then I love the meadow, which again goes beautifully with our spring meadow ink pad if you're wanting to combine the two mediums. I'm going to do the same again, spray a little bit of water in. I'm going to just aim the water now for where the gaps are rather than over the pink.
Okay.
And just get a little bit more going on there. And then we're going to do the same with the green. So just into the gaps there, in between the pinks, and we just get that really, really nice, delicate background, because the stamp that I'm going to use is a really pretty floral stamp that we're going to do some colouring with. So I didn't want the background to overshadow in any way.
No.
And again, I can see I've just got a bit there that's not, but when you spritz it, you can see it start to wick into the card there. And again, once you're happy with it, give it a blast with the heat tool. And we want the card to be reasonably dry this time so that I can work on top of it.
Okay.
So I'm literally, anywhere that you've got sort of lots of water pooling, you can just dab up the excess there.
And you're never, ever, ever going to get that same effect. You know, you could use the same colours.
Yep.
It's different every single
Honestly, and this, you know me and my backgrounds, I love making backgrounds, and I have a box that they all sit in ready to use if I sort of come up with a, oh, that would look nice on an ink background. So these are usually all ready and good to go. So just making sure that it is actually dry this time. While I'm doing that, I'm just going to give this a wipe. Because
so is that something you do, Jan, maybe every now and again? Will you sit for maybe a while and make backgrounds?
Do you know when's the best time, Craig? You know, sometimes you'll appreciate this as a crafter. Sometimes you sit down and you look at your piece of cardstock and you think, I don't know what to do today. You just get a block.
Yep.
Some people say they've lost the mojo. Some people just get a craft block. That's usually when I get the inky bits out and start making backgrounds, because it can be enough sometimes to spur you on to do something. Or you get yourself a nice set of backgrounds ready to work on, you know, on your next sort of crafting project.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that's when I normally make backgrounds. So we've got our piece now, which started off at 5 1/4 inches square for my project that I wanted to. And then I actually took some of our pink tulip water reactive ink and literally just gave this a little bit around the edges to sort of bring it all together and just frame that work. And then we're going to stamp over the top of this. So again, just working on that watercolour card, and just by bringing that edge in, I'm not too worried about the white space in the middle of it, but I just wanted to sort of frame it and finish it off with that edge in. So that's that bit done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my ruler and pencil, and I just want to create a bit of a line where I'm going to work. It doesn't really matter which way up it is. If you've got a particular piece that you like, so I'm going to just mark a line at 2 3/4 and 4 1/4. And this will be covered up when I finish the project, so I'm not too worried about the little pencil lines on there. But again, I just wanted to do something different because that sample I showed you had the full stamp on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create, just using some sticky notes, I'm going to create a panel to stamp in. So the little lines that I've drawn, I'm now going to mask out either side with the sticky notes. So I'm going to do a little one at this side. So just lining up those pencil marks that I've made. And then I'm going to cut one in half.
Just seeing that background that you have done there, Jan, you know, you could be mistaken for thinking that that's come from one of our watercolor pads.
Yeah.
You know, you've got that effect, but you've made it yourself.
It is, and it does, you know, you do get a little bit of satisfaction, I think, from that. You know, if you like playing with the water, and this is what I meant when you said to me, you know, what do you like about the watercolor pens, Jan? It's like, this is the kind of thing that you can do with them. They're not just for colouring in. And I've just lost a little bit of me. I don't know what happened. Oh, it's there, it's still on the pad. I do need the straight edge, so I'm just going to chop that one because I want to make sure that this is all covered over. So what I've done is I've created an area within my card now here that we're going to stamp in. So I'm going to bring in my stamping pad and my stamp platform.
Okay.
And then we need the stamp, and I've chosen the Delicate Blossom, and these are actually on Leanne's show later today. So this one's really, really pretty. It's almost like the Christmas rose type flower, but you've got 3 separate flowers, you've got some stem work, you've got the bud, and then you've got the little extra bit, plus 2 sentiments. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop these down straight onto my actual, the thing is not sticking properly because my card's not as dry as I would like it. I think what I'll do is just stick, ooh, she says.
And these sort of thing, your post-it notes, your sticky notes, you know, I know here in the UK you can get them in the inexpensive stores. I know you'll be the same stateside as well, and it's really handy to use these when you've got them within your stash. It
is. If you've got masking tape, you can do the same with masking tape. I never get on very well with masking tape. I always find it snags my card and then I get a little bit upset at the end. But again, it's probably the type of tape. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick that because I don't want my stamps to go under the edge. As I say, my card's not as dry as I would like it, but I want to work in this panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my stamps over and I'm going to pop them. I'm going to use all 3 of the designs and just pop them so that they're coming into that panel, like so. So just a little bit within the panels, like so. And then once I'm happy with that arrangement, I can pick them up. And then the next thing that I need to be careful of is that we choose the right ink. So I've gone for the waterproof dye ink from our Finesse range because I don't want that outline to smudge when we start adding watercolour mediums for the colouring. All right, so because it's waterproof, that lovely line art is going to stay exactly where I put it. And you know that I prefer my flagstone. I use this one all the time. I don't know why. The black I find a little bit harsh sometimes if you're doing nice pastel designs. So again, pop that back on here. I'm going to give it a nice press. If you've got our stamping platform, you can do this with the stamping platform, you can do it with the rocker blocks. But all I want to do is transfer some of that imagery into the gap here. Now I've got room at the top just to pop another one. So I'm going to take that big one again, I think, rather than repeating the same one there. And just take some of those petals into that gap at the top, look there. So again, pick it up, ink it up, and then just finish that one at the top there. Okay.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to put that to one side now. Pop that to one side. I'll sort those out in a minute. And then when we actually take this away now, you've created yourself a border here.
I love that.
so that they're literally just in that panel and nowhere else. So just take away the pieces of paper, and you'll see when I bring you the one in that I've finished, you'll see exactly what I mean with it. So to add some colour to this now, I'm going to work with the same colour pens that we started with. So there's still the same 2 watercolour pens, and I'm going to take that pink again. So this one was the pink tulip, pop some on here, and then I'm going to use my crystal overlay pen, and I love doing this as my water brush, because then I'm going to get this colour but sparkly. So you can change all 36 of your colour shades from your pens into sparkly ink just by adding the use of your brush. So this one's just got the clear glitter in the suspension. There's no pigment, no colour in this one, so it literally just comes out as the glitter. So I'm going to pick up my colour with the pen, and I'm going to start and add it over the top. Because that's the same medium as what I've used underneath, it's going to go straight over the top of those colours and just pop some in the gap, as if you just colour it, just literally a colouring in exercise now. I'm not going to do them all because I've got one already finished for you. And then I'm going to take a tiny bit of that, of the darker pink, and just add a little bit of that towards the bottom to add some depth in there. You can still do your shading with your watercolour pens. This one underneath would be a wee bit darker because it's the underneath of the petal there. And then again, you know, just that little bit in there just is enough. And you can see how we've got that done. Now your glitter pen, all you need to do, either on some scrap paper, or I often use my beloved rag, once you've given it a wipe, you can see there that it's back to being clear. It's not got any of the colour, so it doesn't damage your pen. It's one of my favourite tricks using that. We'll get rid of this. Okay, I've also added in on the one that I'm going to bring and show you some of the little, in the gaps there, just added some of that little sprig. Okay. And when I bring this one in, backed in the black, you can see how it's transformed. And all I've done is cut just a couple of slivers of black card to cover the lines that I drew initially, which has then closed that in that space. So we've got that lovely background. It's a little bit lighter than the one I've done here today, a bit more pastel tones, and then literally enclose that panel, and you can just see the sparkle on the flowers just being done. So the background's matte, but the flowers have got that lovely sparkle effect on with the sparkle pen there. So just very, very quickly then, I've popped a card blank together. Okay. I'm going to grab my tape pen.
Now remember, the sparkly pen that Jan was using, you actually get 3 of them, 3 sparkle overlay. You get 3 of them, and it works out you're getting them for free if you go for that Aqua Mega bundle that's on your screen right now. I'll show you the boards in a little bit more detail just once Jan has finished, but you do get those 3 sparkle overlay pens for free in the bundle.
So I've just made myself a stepper card using some of our all-purpose card there, and I'm going to use this as my focal point on the front. And then while I was colouring this at home, I actually did a slightly bigger piece of the watercolour card so that I could cut my 2 panels to go in the side as well. Okay. I've already added some gems on there. So we'll just get those set down, and then I've got a sentiment to add. So that one's going to go on the front there. That one's going to go in the side. And then just to finish it off, oops.
So effective.
Minus the hair, Jan. I think that's probably mine that's escaped. There we go. That one's going to go inside the back there. And then I've got a nice little sentiment that's from the same set here. Okay. So in your stamps, it's got happy birthday to you and enjoy your special day. So that was the happy birthday to you. We're going to put this one along here. And I think we'll go with, because I've got all those different mediums on there, I'm just going to tack a bit of the red line tape onto there. We've got the inks on there. We've got the stamping ink and everything. So just to be doubly sure that that's going to stay in place, I'll use that red line tape. And that one's going to go across there like so. And then just to finish off, I've used my stamp again and just stamped one of the flowers. That was the largest one of the 3 flowers. And I'm just going to bring that one slightly out of the frame. Wow. And I've got my glue gun on down at the bottom here, just to pop a little bit of hot glue on the back of there, and just that one, I just wanted to bring that one out just to sort of give it an extra feature and a focal point, but the rest of it's enclosed in that panel. So I've made a right old mess already. I'll stand you that one up.
Beautiful.
So that's using those Aqua pens as your, not just your colouring medium, but to create that lovely background as well. It's almost like a marble effect.
It is, Jan. It really, really is. And you think when it comes to that mega bundle, you know, the pens that Jan was showing you, as well as, you know, the mega bundle, you know, you're going to be able to create so many different effects, so many different colours, so many different tones. You might go a bit brighter, as Jan was saying, she went a bit more lighter in that one than she did in the other one. So you can have so much fun when it comes to creating different looks with your colours. What we're going to do in a moment is, we've got some comments coming through, we'll read them out just shortly. We're going to show you the stamps that Jan was just using, but I want to go over this mega bundle a little bit more detail, because you really do get loads. Now, when it comes to the actual marker pens, this is where you are going to get the 4 sets. You've got 12 within each set. Now, within this one, this is your florals. Now, I'm not going to go and read all the colours here, because that'll take a little while, but you can see the colours visually that you're going to get when it comes to the set. So once again, this is your Aqua marker, so that's your floral. You're also going to be getting your essentials. You're also going to be getting your primary, and you're also going to be getting your natural. So think of your spring, your summer, your autumn, your winter. Every colour for the season is catered for, even in just that 4-pen set, 4-pack set. What you're also getting though, and these were what Jan was using, she was using a select few of these ones. This one here being your tri-brush marker, your tri-colour marker, your Aqua. These ones here are your floral meadow. So with these also being your water-based, it means you can start to blend out, similar to what Jan was doing a moment ago. So you do have your 3 pen sets in this one here. So you've got your bright floral. Remember, it is the 3 colours in each pen. So this is your bright floral, your warm fiery, and your fresh verdant. That's in the floral meadow set. In the essential neutral set, you are, as you can see down here, going to get earthy neutral, you're going to get rich neutral, and also grey neutral. And you're also going to be getting the colour basic. So you're going to be getting your warm primary, your cool primary, and your contemporary. As Jan was showing us and explaining, the different depths, the different shades that you're going to get with these being water-based. Whether you use them with your water pen, your paintbrush and water, you're going to then be using that onto your watercolour cardstock, which you get included as well. That's a full pack of your A4 watercolour cardstock. And if you do go for this big mega bundle, it does work out that you are going to be getting your 3 clear sparkle overlay pens for absolutely nothing. Completely free. So this is where, instead of using your water brush or your maybe your paintbrush and water, nice way of using this, as Jan just showed you there, get that little bit of a sparkle. They're actually worth $12.99 when it comes to these ones here. Very quickly as well, this is some of the techniques that you can do when it comes to your Aqua pens. So, you know, you can be doing your resist effects that you can see within this one here. You can also be doing with it with your white emboss and drawing out the colour. A salt technique, you can stamp with the pens as well, and then down here you can draw the colour out with the pen as well. So that is stamping with the pen and then drawing the colour out. This is one of these collections where I would always say, and we do say it with all the shows as well though, is go back onto our YouTube and watch past shows. Just pop in Spectrum Noir, or of course just pop in your Aqua pens. There is so many ideas, hints and tips and tuitions across on our YouTube for you to follow along as well. And what works really, really well with this set, and that's why Jan was using them, is of course our outline stamps. So this is our outline floral stamp collection. 33 stamps in total. Now £13.50 or $19. You're going to be saving 30%, but platinum comes down to £10.80 or $15.20. You've got the Divine Rose, and that's exactly what that is. It is so, so divine. Singly, or if you're going to layer up or mask them, whatever it is you want to do with them, these are so fun to get creative with. We've got the Radiant, oh, I can never say this, Radiant Ranunculus.
That's the one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the one. Oh, I got that right. It's probably the only time I'm going to get it right. You've got that one as well. Isn't that... It's one of those... Can play with your eyes.
It's very retro, isn't it?
Very retro.
Yeah.
Very, very retro. As I say, you know, it can be fun on the eyes. Then what we've got, the Delicate Blossom. This is the one that Jan was using.
Yeah.
So once again, whether you're going to just cherry pick sections of the stamp, singly stamped, but then start to layer up, build up, whether it's the masking, whether of course you want to do some fussy cutting, it's a really beautiful set. And then we've got our poppies here. So within this one here, is it Proud Poppies? I'm going to say this is Joe's writing on the back, because usually I can't understand Joe's writing. It looks as though it says Prowl. I'm sure it says Proud Poppies here. So this is all part of the Outline Floral Stamp Collection. 33 stamps in total, $13.50 or $19. We do have many of you with these in your basket, so we're going to give you a chance to check out in just a moment. We do have Sandra on YouTube is saying, I found that pen wallet so handy to take along with me. So yeah, maybe your craft crops, or maybe of course your craft clubs. We've got Nanny to the Girls on YouTube is saying, morning all from central Wisconsin, yay, Jan is back. A lot of people saying, yay, brilliant, fab, Jan is back. Another one, Mary, is saying, love that background, Jan, absolutely loved it. Audrey saying, good morning, crafty friends. I love making my own backgrounds, especially with the glimmer sprays.
Yep.
Good idea.
Yep.
Really good idea. Patricia is saying, I have only done plain colouring with all my markers. Too afraid to try new techniques and failing. My tries never come out like anything I see on CCTV.
Oh, there are lots and lots of tutorials on our YouTube channel. Where you can actually literally watch them, pause us, shut us up if you want, and have a go. But I always say they're not fails, they're just different. And at the end of the day, if you're really not happy with it, it is only a piece of card that you've used. But it's practice, like everything else, just practice. And like Craig made a very valid point, it's hard to recreate when you're sort of doing that kind of technique. If you're wanting to batch make something, it's possibly not the right technique. If you're wanting to use more than one element, what I tend to do is do a whole piece of A4 card and do that technique with the marbling, and then you can cut it into sizes. But to repeat it, it's very rare you'll get the same thing twice, but I think that's what makes it so special.
I do as well.
Yeah.
I do as well. Just before we go a quick break, Renee is saying, just waking up, what was the dimensions of the stepper card?
The stepper card finished all together, I think it was 7.5. Oh no, I've gone for the 8 by 5 3/4. So that was pretty much as big as I could make it out of my piece of A4. I've just sliced a sliver off the 1/4 inch width, and then I've gone for the 2 lots of 5 3/4. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Brilliant. Hopefully that helps. Rightio. We're going to have a little bit of a break because some of you have got some of these bundles actually in your basket. So while you take this opportunity to check it out, have a look at this.
For all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
One that was really funny, Ben. You didn't.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that?
We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. You know, we see the same people, and we know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. I love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done like craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
That's us here. All a lot of fun. And some crafting as well, sometimes. Miriam's saying good morning. Carol is saying good morning and she wants to dig out her Aqua pens. Mary is saying hello, she loves trying new techniques. Vicky is saying good morning. What a treat. Craig, Jan and Jamie, worth getting up at 4 a.m. And that's lovely, thank you. Oh gosh, yeah, oh no. Oh. It's bad enough doing that when we have to do it for Hobby Maker here in the UK, isn't it? Oh. Jan, Zoe is saying, can you use Aqua pens straight on paper and then blend with water / pens?
Yes, I would recommend the watercolour paper because that's made A, to absorb the water and B, to allow it to move around. If you use it on other cardstocks, you might find that it agitates the surface of the card, and sometimes you get those little tiny pieces of card in there and you think, where have they come from? It's because the surface is coming off the card. So again, it's about using the right product. The watercolour card or the premium watercolour pad that we've got on the show work perfectly, but yet you can colour straight onto the card with the nibs and then drag it out with your water pen or with your sparkle brush as well.
That's great.
Perfect.
Thank you for that, Jan. Hopefully that's helped yourself, Zoe, and anyone else that was wanting to ask about that question. Right, I'm not going to spend too much longer on these because I want to jump straight back to Jan for another demonstration. And these are a ridiculous price when it comes to these. These are our Create a Card ribbon, thread and die collection. 12 dies in total. This is, on today's price, working out at half price, $38.97 or $44.85. It is, as I said, half price, or it does work out, buy 3, get 3 free, whichever way you want to look at it. We've got pretty florals. We have got charming lace. All these you can thread your ribbon or some other material in many different ways. We've got the Baroque swirls. We have also got the bold florals. We have also got the diagonal lace, and then we've also got the elaborate lace. Now, as it says on the screen, and quite rightly, as Jan pointed out earlier on, you know, these are they are a Create a Card. So you're using them in that Create a Card form. You don't necessarily have to just use the ribbons. There is other things that you can use with them. Platinum price £31.18 or $35.88. crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.eu. That's where you need to go. These ones, Jan, these are so, I always find them fun.
I love these, honestly. It sort of, it brings in a different medium. So technically, those people that are scared of mixed media, this is a nice clean way to do mixed media, because you're mixing your cardstock with the ribbons or whatever else you're threading. You can thread twine through here. I'm actually going to work with a piece of ribbon and a piece of cardstock as well. You know, you can thread your cardstock through it. So we're going to cut it first just to show you how that concept works. And I've chosen, can't say it as well as you do, Craig, the Baroque swirls. I love it, the swirls. I love it, honestly. So these are just under 6x4 in size. So your outside frame measures 3 3/4 across by 5 1/4. So these will fit nicely, if you wish, on a 6x4 card. Now I'm going to take it a little bit sort of further this morning for you. And the actual plate itself with all the detail on doesn't have an external edge. And this has become quite a feature of our dies because it gives you choices. So you can just cut that detail into a larger piece of card. If I wanted my design to be this big, with that in the middle and a larger frame, it allows you to do that. If the cutting edge was part of the die, you're set to this particular size. Now, I do actually want it to be this size for this particular sample. So what I'm going to do is just tape it down. And again, I've said this many times before, if you're not confident with the two pieces of metal together, cut your flat one, your main at rectangle first, and then lay this one in the middle. But as long as you've got that sort of, there's about just over 1 millimeter's gap all the way around the edge, and as long as you've got that, and you can see that around the outside of your die here, and they're not overlapping, then you're absolutely good to go. And this is where your tape comes in, because you don't want any of that to move. So I'm just going to tape them down, and then I've got my Gemini plates at the ready. Now these are small enough to go through the smaller machines. I just happen to have my larger Gemini plates out this morning, but they will fit through your Gemini Junior. I know that's your machine of choice, Craig, isn't it? You like your Junior?
I do, yeah, I really, really do. I love that one. Just say as well, that was a really good tip as well. If you're unsure, just visually, if your dies are crossing over, just to run your pokey tool.
Yeah, just to make sure that you've got that gap all the way around the edge. That's the only real way that you can damage a metal die, especially with the Gemini being so powerful. If you've got the metal overlapped, it will leave an impression, which could cause problems with later die cuts. But I've never sort of had it happen. I'm always very careful, and as I say, if I'm unsure, I tend to cut one first and then the other one inside. So we're going to take this one away. I'm going to turn it over and just release. I like to release the cardstock from the actual die so that I'm in control of what's coming out. And we've got the most gorgeous, I mean, just this on its own without anything else, you know, is beautiful. If you just wanted to use that as a card front, as it was, with a little sentiment on, job's done. Absolutely beautiful. But you can see here, we've got several different options. We can thread up and down through the little pieces here, or you've also got one in the middle of here that you can thread up and down. Now on your packaging, it gives you lots of suggestions as to how you can do them, and they've all got 3 different ways that you can use them. You may find some more, I don't know. But this one's showing you threaded through that external edge here with the larger gap, so you're probably going to get sort of 3/4 inch ribbon through that one. You can go through that one and side to side as well, so you can take your ribbon up and down this way. And then we've got the ones where it comes down that more central piece. So again, lots of different ways, ideas on there for you to have a look at. Now what I'm going to do, you know me, I never do anything straightforward. I always like to do something different. So I'm actually going to chop mine up, as I have a habit of doing. So I've got my guillotine underneath here. And what I want to do, the reason I'm chopping it up is I want to make a gatefold card. So I've started this off, I've got some mats and layers stuck inside, but I actually want, so you could actually stick this on half of here and have it open like so.
Okay.
But what I want to do is actually create some narrower panels. So all I'm going to do is take this into my guillotine and I'm just going to cut it along that edge there, just line it up with my guillotine and take that middle panel, that edge panel, leave the middle in here, and then I'm going to do the same at this side.
Right.
Okay, so that I've got 2 narrower panels rather than that rectangular panel. All right, now I'm going to keep this bit. I'll show you what I've done with that bit as well. Pop that to one side, and I will go back to basics with these. If you're just starting your journey in craft, I will go back to basics if you can join us at 6 o'clock tonight and do these as a panel.
Brilliant.
But for what I wanted to do this morning, I'm actually going to have them like so that they're going to be matted and layered on the outside of my card like this. So all I've done is taken out of my massive stash of ribbons. I went to have a look what colours I wanted to play with. I've got a set of coloured, you know the stacking drawers, Craig?
Yeah.
I've got a set of those in colours.
Have you? Right.
So I have all my embellishments, so things like ribbon and twine and buttons and all that, all colour coded.
Oh, amazing.
So my red drawer has obviously got all the red stuff in and so on and so on. So I went in the yellow drawer and I found the lovely gold ribbon in there. So that's got yellows and golds in. And literally all I'm doing is going through those larger pieces up and down, just as it suggests, ribbon threading. So I'm threading that ribbon from underneath over the top. All right, and I've just cut the ribbon long enough to stretch from one edge to the other. So I'm going to pop it over here again now. You can see that lovely gold piece underneath. All right, and then for the thinner one, you could use ribbon again, but this is actually offcuts of the brown card that I've used for matting and layering. And I'm going to actually use this one to go in that smaller section. So it doesn't have to be ribbon that you're actually threading through. Later on, in the show later this evening, I'm going to use some twine as well through one of the designs. So again, your cardstock will curl through. And literally, all I've done is just measure the gap on that particular ribbon thread and just cut that cardstock. And I think it was just under a 1/4 of an inch, if I remember rightly,
Right,
or
okay.
just, it might be 5/8, one or the other. All right, and literally, no, I've missed one. I'm going to say that's not right. Jan, I'm getting giddy there. I'm going to say it should go down through the bottom at the end. All right, there we go. And then again, I'm just going to pull that back down so that it covers all of the panel. I think that bit's just escaped at the bottom there.
I suppose there's nothing stopping you from, you know, doing what you're doing, but maybe miss one of the
There's so many different ways, honestly, so many different ways, Craig. It really is. You know, you could probably make a whole batch of cards and each one look different.
Yeah.
Not like you said, with the way that you're actually threading the ribbon, with the colours, the different styles, you know, you probably not get 2 that look the same. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of my double-sided tape on the top of that frame to secure those pieces, and at the same at the bottom there. If you want to use a bit of red line tape or a bit of wet glue, I would go with the tacky glue, but obviously this dries instantly. And then I'm just going to trim this level with the bottom of that piece of card, like so.
Loving that effect of both the ribbon and the paper together.
And then what I've done is I've just trimmed them down slightly to fit the panel that I'm working on. So I've got my mat and layer at the ready, okay, and I've trimmed it just a fraction, and this is what I've created with it. Okay, and I've just realised I've threaded this one and I should have threaded that one, but never mind, the idea's there. So these are going to fit on the front. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one. All I've done is I've taken some brown card, the papers from our Be Beautiful collection because it went with that lemon background, and then I've used cream cardstock on the top. So I'm going to have to, guys, because that's a different colour, I'm going to have to, how are we doing for time?
About 5 minutes.
Right, I'm just going to have to redo that
Yeah,
into
no,
this
okay.
one because the colours are not going to match otherwise.
Yeah, you see,
I
you're
can't
like-
have not
yeah.
matching. Do you know, producer Johnny's laughing at me. He knows me too well. I can't have them not matching, Johnny.
Yeah,
you know
I know
me.
that. I know that.
So yeah, we're just going to, and I've cut this one down to size and everything, and then I got carried away.
Just while you're doing that then, Jan, because we've
Yeah.
got more comments coming through. We have got, where did I get to last? Actually, so Sandra is saying, what was the stamps that Jan used in our last demonstration?
It was that delicate blossom.
Yeah, it was, wasn't
From
it?
the outline stamps, yes.
There
Really
you
pretty
go.
one, that one.
Hopefully that has helped Sandra. Miriam saying, I love these ribbon threading dies. I have several cut out already.
Yeah.
Mary on YouTube, she's actually replying to Adriana, is saying, I swear, the man of the house, aka my big brother, can smell the packages coming a mile away, or he's bribed the delivery driver. But we tend to hear that every now and again. Either there's a hidden place that they get their deliveries left, so no one finds them, or yeah, partners do see them arriving. And Mary on YouTube is saying, these dies are so beautiful. Whatever you thread through them, they look gorgeous. They really, really do. They look beautiful.
My husband's just given up now on things arriving. He's just sort of conceded to it. Because obviously I get so many deliveries with things coming. I had to actually explain to the courier that I work for the company.
Did you?
Because obviously, you know, I mean, you'll know, Craig, I mean, you maybe pick some of your things up from here, but we have to have our stuff delivered because we live a bit further away. And I've got to the point sometimes where the DPD drivers were coming 2 and 3 times a week, and I think they thought I was just spending a fortune. But obviously I only buy the things that I need to do the prep with. So yeah, I had to explain to him that I did actually, I felt it necessary to let him know that I did actually work for the company. And he was like, ah, right. Yeah, as if he was in the know then, you see. Right, I've just flicked that over onto the other piece there so that we're on the right colour family. Brilliant. And again, I'm just going to snip those ends level. I've just gone round the panel with a little bit of ink so that it stands out from the matte layer that I'm going to put it on.
And it's actually showing that, you know, it's not an overly time-consuming part to do.
No, it is quite easy actually. When I saw them, I thought, oh, I don't know about that. But it is actually quite easy, you know, and choosing your colours probably takes a bit longer than it does to actually do the threading. Deciding, you know, what kind of card you're going to do, what colour ribbons you've got that match. So all I'm going to do, when I can find the end of my tape, there it is just pop a layer of red line tape down here. And that's also going to help seal that piece of cardstock that I ran through the ribbon threaders as well. And then that one's now ready to sit on that matte layer that we've created, and we can put that on the other side. And it all matches, and everything in Jan's world is right again. So here we go. Honestly, even before I'd even started, I'd got Johnny laughing. He knew exactly where I was going because like, oh no, they don't match. She's not going to use that one.
And the thing is, how long did the pair of you be in communication with to discuss what you were doing today? Do you know what I mean?
So that's it. We've got that as our sort of detail on the front now. Now then, the bit that was left over, it seemed a shame to waste this. And when I cut it at home, like I've got that little tiny bit on this side, I'd got the same on the other side. So I thought, right, why not recreate this again? Wow. I've used the same gold ribbon, and what we're going to do is we're going to pop this one on the inside. So all of a sudden we had that panel that started out as a whole panel. We've now got 3 separate pieces, so don't be afraid to chop into things.
No, not at all.
I do it a lot. I do it a lot with embossing folders. I'm known for sort of cutting things up. I've quite often stamped images and then done them in 3 to do the triptych design. It's just something that I don't know, maybe I was sort of, as a child, I was into chopping things up, I don't know. It's just something that I do quite a bit with the crafting. And then I just had a look through my stash and chose a nice little sentiment there. And then out of these are actually the floral dies that we launched a little while ago. I love these for embellishments. I've just created, I just felt as if it needed a little bit of something on the front there. So we're just going to put one of those at the bottom at one side, and we're going to put one to offset that at the top at the other side. I can just see the time flicking away. We're nearly there. And then I'm going to put my tape on that one, and then I had a little bit of card left over, so I've just popped, oh, that's the wrong pen, Jan. There's a little bit of tape left on it there.
So elegant.
I'm just going to pop this one to link that outside to the inside, just there, and then pop my sentiment over the top. So you can see we've got the gatefold, we've got those little bit of extras, and then focusing on that ribbon die that we've just literally altered beyond means, but it was still the same die that we started out with from that piece that was 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. So yeah, that's where we got to with it.
Jan, that is absolutely beautiful. What a great way to show you how you can use your ribbon, thread and dies in a different way. As Jan did say, if you are a beginner crafter, new to craft and new to these, she will be back 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, where she'll go back to basics when it comes to the ribbon, thread and dies. That's going to be beautiful beginnings. Right, details on the screen right now for your ribbon, thread and dies. Website is the best place to go. Don't go far. Do come back in a moment, because while Jan pops out, Jamie's popping in. We'll see you shortly.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much. Joe's laughing. Oh, I've forgotten to put me thing in place.
Oh, Joe, don't... Words, but I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong. Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Mosby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
You're right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out.
So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor.
I went to reach for the water and, you know, do the tapping with the and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami.
I've got some...
Oh, it's not on your project, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Just one blooper after another blooper, time and time again. What was that, Jan? What was it? Just come in, Jan.
Shall I just come in?
Just come in. Yeah, that's okay. Just you come in.
I don't come over this side very
You don't.
often.
Just come in. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll give that
And
to
then-
Leanne.
Yeah, because she's got that this afternoon.
She does. That's a craft along.
Leave it in your care.
Thank you very much. Enjoy. I know you're away to do some work, aren't you? You're away to do some
I'm
prep.
going to do some prep for next.
It's Jan. Jan's just away. But look who's in. Jamie's in. Hey!
Hello.
Seamless. Seamless. Oh,
Good start to
Jamie.
the day.
So good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yeah, very much so.
Lots of things you've brought with you.
We have, yeah, 2 very big bundles really to tempt you with today, haven't we? Lots to share with you.
Really, really is. I've just gone and just laid them all up at the side of me because there is that much. So we're going to show you everything to start with. I know you are here throughout the whole day today. And you're going to be showing us lots of good things. Any little teasers as to what to expect before I show?
Oh, well, we've got some piercing dies that are coming up that I'm going to sort of show you how they work and show you a couple of little hacks on how you can get different effects from them. We also have Sue Wilson Slimline collection that I'm sure the samples are going to blow you away. A lot of them have been done by Sue and the team, and they're incredible. So yeah, lots to tease you with today.
Absolutely, loads and loads and loads. So let's kickstart to show you Jamie Rogers Piercecraft dies. So this is a 5-pack. Now you're going to get 16 dies in total, and you are going to be $79.99. For you guys stateside, you're going to be $114.49. You are getting a saving of 10%. Even though it's Jamie and it's Creative Expressions, you still get your Club Inspire, which comes down to $63.19 or $91.59. So what do you get? Look at these. These are big. These are bold, but what these are also full of, and that is fun. Now, when it comes to these ones, these are all your Piercecraft dies. So we can see the bauble there. What I'm going to do is here is it in black and white form. And Jamie, while I'm showing these, what is the initial concept of these ones?
Being completely honest with you, many, many years, I've been in the craft industry for about 20 years. I know a lot of you are going to remember these. Years and years back, we used to have templates, brass templates that we would pierce through and spend absolutely hours piercing through all the different holes. And then me being me, who's quite klutzy, would end up piercing one wrong and end up sort of piercing through 2 or 3 of them. And I know you can bring in a butterfly and cover it up, but there's something very sort of problematic with doing them on your own. So, like a lot of things, I like to do this. I did this with my tea bag folding collection. I like to see old crafts modernised. And times have moved on since the brass stencils and the pokey tool. We've got the ability to bring in a die form that's going to do this for us, so why not? So the dies are going to do all of the piercing for you. On top of that, with the stencils, we could only do piercing or embossing. Now we've got the element of actually adding in the cuts as well. So like this one, we've got the trees, we've got the roof, we've got the moon in there. So we can add more elements to it. So I'm hoping that you're going to agree. It's sort of modernised the traditional art form and give you a little bit more to it and made it a lot easier for you.
Absolutely. And I do have to say as well, you say you've been crafting for many years. You are also up in Male Craft Personality of the Year as well.
I'm in good company. Very good company.
So yeah, if you're maybe new to us, maybe new to Creative Expressions, it's Jamie. It's the man. So there you go. They are, Johnny was just saying these are really busy already, which I'm not surprised. We are going to spend a little bit of time later on, show you in more detail, but just a couple, just so that you can kind of get the idea as to what you can do with these ones. This is just a smidge of the ideas, isn't it, Jamie? That you can
it is, and that first card that Craig had was quite good actually, because it shows you how the dies will actually stay attached to your cardstock. So each of these focal dies has 2 dies in each set. There's an outside edge to them that comes separate, and then you've got the main panel which will stay attached to your card. So like the first one, you can have it on your card like this one Craig's showing you. You can choose how wide you want the border to be. You can bring in your other nesting dies, and I'll show you that shortly. But you can bring in your other nesting dies and give them fancy edges as well if you would prefer.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. So as I said, we'll show you more of the other ones just shortly. I just want to give you that idea as to the concept of these and which you can do. So that one there, that is the Jamie Rogers Piercecraft die collection. So you're going to get 16 dies in total, $78.99 or $114.49, giving you that saving of 10%. But if you are platinum, that comes down to $63.19 or $91.59. So what we've also got that's going to work really, really well with these ones here, and this one's is your sentiments. So these are your Pierced Sentiment Craft Collection. Now this is where you're going to get 12 dies within these ones. Now, yes, these are really, really good to have on all of your Christmas cards and projects, but these complement the die collection I showed you a moment ago because they're also pierced. They work really, really well. You do have your sentiment, but you have your outer layer that is also pierced as well. So if I show you them there. What I love about these ones as well, Jamie, size-wise, these just seem to be spot on for your projects.
I quite like small sentiments. I find that we've gone very large with a lot of our sentiments, and sometimes you only want a little something in a corner. One of the bits I love with these is the interchangeability between the phrases and the backing panels as well. I'm not going to tell you all of them match because they don't. The Believe in the Magic, for instance, is very long and won't quite fit on the Let It Snow one, to give you an idea, but quite a lot of these you can interchange them with. I also like the idea of having these panels to stamp on and use all through the year.
Idea.
It's not only for Christmas. There's only like one that's got some stars on it, one like that one's got a little snowflake in the corners, and then there's one with holly. But the others, like this one for instance, that panel would be able to be used all year round with happy birthdays or happy anniversaries or anything else stamped on them too.
Absolutely, they really, really would be. So whether you were, maybe treating yourself as this being a standalone item that you're purchasing today, but as Jamie says, they do complement not only the Pierce collection, but of course maybe your stamps at home, your little die sentiments that you've got at home. Really, really handy set. And just to give you a little idea that we can see within here, look at that one there. So just going in with your mirror card or mirror card onto an embossed background. How fab does that look? Looks really, really good. And of course, you can change the colour to whatever one you want.
Of course you can, yeah. This one's done by one of our design team. I'm hoping you're going to help me out with a name, Craig. I'm so bad at remembering the names. They write on the back of them. I'm so terrible with trying to remember who's made what. It's shockingly embarrassing.
I believe it's Jacqueline.
Pardon, sorry?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, of course it is. I love the way Jacqueline's taken this on and just focused in on them sentiments. It is a really lovely way to make a card with actually quite a small set of components.
Really fab, really fab. Love that one. We've now got even more. Now from these ones here, this is what we're going to be showing you is the Sue Wilson. This is the Festive Slimline collection. Now you're going to get 38 dies in total. And these were the ones, if you were watching Launch Party yesterday, you'll have heard me and Joe live say to Tracy, you've usually got the products lined up at the side that we can have a nosy. Well, she didn't do it till after we finished live. And when me and Joe were looking at them, we were like, wow, what's on the lineup today is fab. Not just with what you've brought, but what Sue has brought as well. I'm going to go right back to the slimlines first. Remember, you're getting everything. You're getting absolutely everything. And check these out. Whole lot I'm showing you, £103.49 or $149.99. Platinum comes down to $82.79 or $119.99. Now these are fab, of course, with them saying the slimline, all your slimline cards, the layers. I love even just the effects that you've got all the way around of these, Jamie.
These are beautiful, aren't they? And if you've been a collector of Sue's dies, like I know a lot of you are, both of these designs, so that pierced element on the one to the one side and the loopy element on the one to the other side, both of those Sue's bought out already in layering dies.
Okay.
So if you've got those or border dies, there's quite a few in the collection basically. Yeah. So if you've got them, you can bring them together and actually use them as sets, which works really well, or use them as standalone if you'd like to. And of course, for the nesting shapes, Craig's showing you, they're going to go with the panels as well. So you've got the backing plates or maybe the frames to cut these out if you'd like.
Yeah, absolutely. All works together. Remember, everything I'm showing you, it is part of this whole collection on your screen right now. Now, what we've also got is another two different styles. Very, very stylish when it comes to these ones here. Cut in or cut out. You've got the two dies. I mean, this one, Jamie, I just want to go in with my gems or, maybe my little pearls, anything like that.
I love this. I've be honest with you, I'm trying to be less biased with this one because if you had my way, all of the demos today would be with that die. I love it. It's just gorgeous. And I had to be careful when I was sort of picking the Sue demos to make sure I'd got in all of the other components as well, because I do lend myself or lean towards this one. With you, Craig, all of them ideas are brilliant. Don't forget with this that you can also go in and snip it out. Just a couple of little snips and that will come free from that outside edge, and you can then be using this as bits of foliage to go in under all of your sort of Christmas flowers and poinsettias and bits. It will work very nicely snipped about, so it's not only one panel. Because it also stays in the card as well, you can easily match it up and cut it in multiple places if you'd like to.
That looks fab on that one there, and as you said, really, really good ideas. Now, I am going to say this one, my absolute favourite is this one. I love this one. I want to colour in it. I want to paper piece. I want to gild and flake it to its heart content when it comes to this one here. Such a fab one. But then we've gone from the big, the bold that outlines the nesting to these, and little, but boy, they really do serve a purpose, these, don't they?
These also have a high amount of debossing on them. We try to show it on the packaging as in the light red is the cut bit, the dark red is the deboss part. But to me, they will make perfect corner elements as well. They're also very easy to snip into and layer in multiple colours, and you'll see that on some of Sue's samples.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads.
And then these are brilliant to fit inside all them little cubes on the shadow box die. They're perfectly designed to actually fit within them areas, so there should be something pretty much to fit every single one of them sort of cubes or rectangles on there.
So you've got that, you've given everyone that option, whether they want to have their own creative play, but then if they're not sure maybe what you would potentially pop into there, then you've got all these elements that you can start to do yourself.
The shadow box is one I've gone back to for many occasions already. When we released our Halloween collection, I did a lovely card using that for the Halloween set as well. And I think the shadow box is one you're going to infill with lots of different bits. These are really cute because of the wording that comes out of them can be used on its own, or you can use the actual plate. And it's very easy to just put a panel behind it if you would like your wording to show up in a different colour.
Yeah, it really is. And if I actually quickly go back to this one there, so it's been used, you can see it just into here, but then going in with that shadow box, you can see then these ones there. So that's using some of the different elements that you've got there. I'm going to show you these ones in the black and white, just so you can see exactly as Jamie was explaining a moment ago. Handy for into the shadow boxes, into maybe your corner, your cards, your projects, as Jamie was saying. Just nice little dies to have as accent detail, of course. What I'm going to do is I'll show you some of these ones that we can see here. I mean, so stylish. So
and very
stylish.
easy because you've got, especially with that shadow box die, you've got that placement marked out ready to put the components in. So sometimes when you look at little dies, you're sort of a little bit lost where to put them. This grounds them to me. It gives them an area. It gives them a place to go. So I find it very nice because you can make some very collective looking cards very easily.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Loads and loads for you to choose from. I am not surprised that it is so busy. Don't forget, you are going to get your Club Inspire on top of that one. But what you might want to do is have a look at what we're ready to show you right now, because these are going to complement the whole lot absolutely perfectly. This is your Glitter Jewels 3-pack. This is your 3-pack bundle. Now, when it comes to these ones here, that's £12.15 or $17.62. You're saving 10% or $9.72. You've got ice crystal, you've got ice snow, and you've got diamond sprinkles as well. So really lovely set, $9.72 platinum, $14.10. Then what we've also got is we've got our Glitter Bits 3-pack bundle, $12.15 or $17.62. You have got your saving of 10%, and you've got that at a platinum price of £9.72 or $14.10. You've got your green, you've got your red, and you've got your gold as well. That's everything. Now, granted, that was a lot to take in within that first 17 minutes. So what we will be doing later on within Wake Up Call, but throughout today, we'll show you lots of other ideas, finished samples. The key thing is what to give you that main detail of the collections so that we can go straight to Jamie, where he can show us one of his spectacular demos and a reason why he is up as Male Craft Personality of the Year.
Thank you very much. This is what we're going to start with and see if you can and get into the idea of these ones. These are our pierced dies, of course, to begin with. And we're going to use the snowflake mandala in the background. Then we're going to use the poinsettia foliage set as well. And of course, we've got the little sentiment going on this one too of the season's greetings. So a little bit of all of the pieces from the pierced collection. Okay. So what I thought we'd start off by doing is actually just cutting one of these out so you can see how they cut. And I thought we would go for the lovely poinsettia level, and we will do one of the plates as well for the wording, just to give you an idea of how easy these are going to cut.
Yeah, that would be good.
So we're going to start off with our Gemini machine, obviously. We're going to use our plates and send that one through. Now, as I mentioned, when these cut out, they're also going to do all that piercing for you. So it's not like you've got to put them through multiple times to get that effect. It will do it in one pass through your machine. If you have any embossing on here as well, some of them have got debossed elements. You should find that the debossing will also happen as it goes through, or you can add your rubber mat on if you need to. So if we go ahead and we take this one out, this of course is our poinsettia level, and we can see straight away how that has already cut out for us, and hopefully you can see all them lovely little embossed or pierced elements. Now with these, and I'm going to see if I can find it already, let's show you a different idea. If you do want to, excuse my old mat here, if you do want to, you can actually go in and open these out even further. So if you would like to continue on with that pierced idea, you can actually do this, and I'm sure Craig will get there shortly. There is so many samples that I have given him today. You will see that there are some from Christine. She has actually stitched, properly stitched, because I'll show you faux stitching later, but properly stitched through the holes and added little beads as she's gone. Amazing. Personally, I think I'd still be there if I was trying to do that.
If I go quiet for a moment or two, I'll just let you carry on, Jamie, and I'll just have a little dig through and take out a few selected samples.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So to bring that idea into practice a little bit more, here is our bauble one, and you can see just on this bauble here, I've gone ahead and I've pierced that one out further. So it's just an option. Maybe you want to focus in on one area. Maybe you want to cut these out as separate items and use them without the backing panel. Or maybe you just want to stitch one of them. It's just an idea and a way that you can actually add more to these as well, because that's what I wanted to give you, was the ability to use them as is or add more on if you want to. So our nameplate is exactly the same. When this one's come out, you can see again piercing across the top here, and then when this one's got the holly pieces that have cut out too, so they're going to cut for you at the same time if you need them to. And I'll show you a little trick with this one when it comes to layering it. So I really wanted on my one, and I've got one here I've already cut, I wanted my holly to be nice and green, obviously, because it's holly. So what I've done is I've cut one in green as well, and here's our little hack for you. If we bring in our glue, and we place our glue over the reverse, I'm just going to use some Cosmic Shimmer Dry's Clear Glue here, and we're going to take this on to the next one, but we're going to flip that one round, and we're going to layer it on top. And because it's a symmetrical shape, it means that just by doing so, our green will, or our holly will now show through with the green from the underneath layer. So if we flip that over, you can see on this side, obviously, with the green, the holly showing through in cream. So it's just a little hack, so you don't have to go ahead and cut pieces of card to put behind them, or actually have to paper piece within them if you don't want to. So then, let's move on to our big die, shall we? So we've got the snowflake mandala here. Now this is incredible. I love this die, and I'm hoping you're going to fall in love with it as much as I have. This has got lots of layers to it. Now you can actually use them in individual pieces. Now I'll show you on the cut actually, because that might be easier for you to see when we talk about this one. There are join marks here between that sort of level. There are join marks between this level, and there are join marks between this level. So if you would like to cut out that star in the middle, you can. If you'd like to go for the slightly larger one, you can, or the next one up. So that means that we can also use this as a frame. So you could use this in your scrapbooking, take out the middle and put your frame element in there. Or you could actually layer these. And again, Craig's got some samples, I'm sure we'll show you shortly. But we can actually glitter each level like you would a traditional mandala stamped image maybe. Now, with the die, we spoke a little bit about this a while ago, but these do come with two dies. So basically what that means is that the actual panel does not have an outside blade attached to it. Right. So when we cut this, it will stay in our cardstock. So if you would like that to be the front of your card, you can actually leave it there and it will stay there as an aperture on the front of the card. If you wish to use the included die, then you can cut that out and it will actually obviously cut out as a separate panel, and you'll achieve the effect I have here on this cut. If you would prefer, and these aren't on today's show, but I know you've got them, and I know, of course, you've got lots of Gemini ones and different brands already, but think about bringing in your other brands or your other nesting dies and placing them around it too. Because then like this one's one of Sue's designs, we can have this nice scalloped effect added to it. And again, it means we can pick how wide we want that frame to be.
That's awesome.
So let's bring in a few components and build this card up, shall we? This is only a nice quick little demo. I've got so many bits I want to share with you today. I don't want you to sort of have to watch me do loads of bits, so I've tried to prep as many bits as I can already. So we've got our card blank. We're going to go on with some green card and some coconut white card. We then have some gold mirror card to go as our next layer. And I'm going to use some foam tape on this one just to prop this up. Now, I will be honest, I tend to make very large cards. Today's card isn't... I know, it's terrible, isn't it? They get bigger and bigger. Yeah. Today's card is 7¼ inches as a square, or the one I'm starting off with. But this panel, I've cut this down quite a few times on different samples. And I've even done quite a few slimline cards with it. Because again, once you've got your panel cut, if you want to put this inside some of Sue's slimline panels and pick out areas of it, that works really nicely too. So we'll then take on our panel that, of course, we've got our snowflake mandala cut into. And we're going to pad that one on the top in the middle here. Now, in transit, that little gold gem in the middle seems to have tried to escape over a little. So let's pop that back to the centre. That would bug you, wouldn't it? It would, yes, very much. So, yeah, I sound like Jan now, don't I? I was listening to her with her last bit, and I'm with you. It's so... And it's even worse when you see it on screen, isn't it? And I don't know if you do this, Craig. The amount of cards I make, and it's not till I photograph them, and about a week later I look at them again, then I realise what I did wrong. Yeah. Then I see all the bits that are wonky. Especially sentiments. I'm terrible for sentiments. So we're going to bring on our Season's Greetings, and we're going to add that on just in the corner. So Season's Greetings, again, cut from our gold mirror. And then we're going to go on to the pieces to actually build up our poinsettia. Now with this, you've got so many options. You know this with flowers, but we can round it if we'd like to. That's very easy to do. So we can give it a bit of a form. Again, it doesn't matter that we've got our piercing on there. We can still round these. That won't affect that. Of course you could, yeah. Or one of the ways I quite like to use these too is with tweezers, just going in and pinching up on each of the petals. Or if you prefer, pinching down, depending on the way you'd like to shape them, and then just foam padding them together. So I've done that already, and I've brought in a couple of these. We've got just some pads on the back there. Okay. So we're going to place one down in this corner, and we're going to go for one of the smaller ones, just up in the corner here. And then we can bring in our different pieces. So this foliage set, not only do we get our poinsettias, we also get our little pine cones. So I've cut these out of some pearl card. And we're going to bring this in and place this coming out from the top here, coming down the design. We've then got another one here, again in from the same set. Going to add a bit of my glue onto that one. And we're going to post that one coming out the top. And then we've got some large leaves and we've got some holly. So let's just give that a bit of a round as well. I'm going to add some glue onto the back of that one at the bottom there. Like you say, whether you want to do your smaller ones, maybe you're going to do your larger cards, that just really gives you that versatility of being able to snip into bits and cut bits. Yeah, a lot of, you know, and I think we're all guilty of this, but I've had a few questions of, well, these are bigger, larger dies, can I do smaller projects with them? Absolutely, there are so many ways you can cut into these and pick pieces out of them. Again, there's a couple of cards I've done where I've literally just picked the smaller areas, trimmed those out and just focused on them pieces. So it's really down to the bits you want to use. Don't feel you've got to keep it all as one panel unless you want to. Not at all, not at all. And then we're just going to add in some holly coming in from there. Maybe another leaf at the top. I get a bit carried away with foliage, I'm afraid, sorry. They're nice as little tuck-ins though, aren't they? Yeah, they just sort of fit quite nicely. They're, you know, they're not too large, they're in proportion to the flowers, and it gives you the freedom to make wreaths with them if you'd like to, or corner elements, borders. You know, they lend themselves to quite a few different sort of formats. They do. And I think we'll leave it there. I've got a couple more, but I think I'll leave it at that point. You can see one was slightly less and one was slightly more. And that gold gem still wants to keep going off to the right, so we're going to try and keep that in the middle. There we go. Ball. But it'll hopefully give you a bit of an idea of what you could achieve with them very quickly, very easily. That is absolutely beautiful. And as Jamie was verbally explaining the ways that you can cut them down, you can chop into them, make them bigger, make them smaller, bringing in many of your other crafty stash from home. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a few finished samples. I will show you through the black and white as to what you are getting within that big bundle, $78.99 or $114.49. You are saving the 10%. But if you are platinum in Club Inspire, $63.19 or $91.59. What I've got is I've got a selection of finished samples from each of these sets here, and I did find the one from Christine, where she's done a little bit of embroidery. So let's show you these ones here first of all. So this is where you can do your stitching, your embroidery. I mean, look at that one. Absolutely beautiful, labour of love, but even your little beads that we can see in here, jewellery beads,
absolutely works a treat. This is using some of the different layers as well, layer upon layer. Maybe you want to go in with any of your flakes. Remember, as well as what we're showing you on the show today, do check out our website, because we do have other elements and collections on our website from Creative Expressions and Jamie. But if you are wanting to go into a smaller aspect, so just having a look at this back one, making it smaller, trimming it down, suiting it to make and fit the cards that you want. A couple of other different styles that you can see here. This is still using that one die set. So lots and lots of different things you can make when it comes to these ones. But if we show you some of these ones as well, this is where, so if I bring you in that one, I mean, how well does that look on your gold cardstock, onto your white? Never underestimate the power of your mats and layers. You know how much I love mine as well. It shows off really well. But maybe you've taken inspiration from Jan. You want to do some colouring when it comes to your die cuts. You can absolutely do that. It really does change that look, whether you're going bright, whether you are going, you know, your darker tones, your vintage tones. You absolutely can do that. This is still from that main collection that I was showing you there. A couple more to show you so you can see. I mean, look at that one, the whites with the silvers. Absolutely gorgeous on that one. Look completely different that you can see here. Then when it comes to that stitch, that bauble, here is the bauble, but then looking different when it comes into your flakes. I mean, look at that. Isn't that fab? And then you could fussy cut, you could layer up if you want to as well. There is no end to what you can create when it comes to this collection. And then look at these ones here with the poinsettia. Really sophisticated, very minimal, but very, very sophisticated that we can see here. Love that one. That looks really smart, as if it's a present. Or start to shape them, bend them, let it snow.
Nice, Craig, because if I can just jump in with this one, if you look at that one, I've actually cut it first and then used an ink over the top of it. And because of the piercing's been done already, the ink just goes over the top. Okay. So you still keep the piercing in the same colour of the card that you started off with. So again, you know, that might not be the card you want to do that with, but it's an example of how you could use all of the piercing collection to keep that sort of two-tone effect.
Yeah, you really can do, you really can. So whether you are, you know, using your slimlines, you know, maybe you are going square, this one here, I mean, look at that, elegant again. And this is what I find that they give you is that elegance, whether you're going with the whites, but maybe the pastel, even some of that deeper tones as well, you still get that sophistication coming through. So these are just some ideas, and let me tell you, there is loads and loads and loads of other ones that throughout Craft Along and of course Beautiful Beginnings will be showing you lots of different things that you can be doing with them. So that was the 5-piece, giving you the 16 dies in total, $78.99 or $114.49. So the Wilson Slimlines here, these are gorgeous. This is going. This is what I think you're going to find. Even Joe's going to be saying, gorgeous, beautiful, fun, but so versatile in the use of these ones. So what I've got is the black and white to show you your die. So we've got your little pin pricks, or of course your little dots. But then when it comes to these ones here, the looped. These are really fun. These are fun on the eyes as well.
I love this design. As I mentioned, Sue's done a Christmas border with this one. She's also done a square set with these. I have a feeling more will be coming too. And I mention this because I really like it when that happens, because if we can actually put them together and use them together.
Yeah.
When you've got all them different shapes with the same design, they've got that commonality between them, so it's going to work well for you.
It really, really is. It's going to work so well. I'm not going to say Jamie's favourite, but this is one that he does really love, and I'm not surprised. And as you were saying earlier, you know, that is great for straight onto a slimline card. Even if you were to fussy cut that whole one out, fab, but then fussy cut just little sections, again, as I was saying before, like tuck-ins or that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially like when we look at the poinsettia in the last collection, you think of adding big sort of swirly foliage into it with this one. They're going to work together for you. That's going to really complement one another. So, you know, it's a nice one to add to your collection.
It is. It really is. You know, and if you want to go big with your cards, you know, set them side by side if you want to. And then my favourite, the starburst here. Really do love that one. I just want to paper piece that. I think you have different effects that you could get. Even backing on acetate, stained glass effect would look fab. Let's have a look at these looped ones as well as the dots. You can see if you're using your mini elements, you can do that, layering them up, colouring them with your glitter cardstock, your Centura Pearl maybe. But then this one here, it is using the looped, but then also the box frame as well. So there really is lots that you can do. I'm going to bring in little dots that we've got here. I mean, there is so much that you can do. I love the tone on tone, Jamie. I think that really works.
These are Sue's cards, aren't they amazing? I love what Sue does. I like the weaving particularly on that one, but it works well. You can see how she's gone, as you mentioned, between the different layers as well. Using them together on one card, I think works very nicely too.
It really does. And then this, look at that. Look at that.
And that is such a simple card to do. It is literally just infilled with some of our Aurora flakes to give it that sort of drama and sparkle. This card that you've got, Craig, this is the infill parts, and I think I've set it up so the next card you've got, hopefully, is the sort of cut part of it. Oh no, sorry. No. There is another one.
Did I mix it up, did I?
It may have been, but it doesn't matter. But there is another one that Sue's done where she's used the actual cuts from it. Okay. So you can see how you can make two cards out of one set of products, if that makes sense.
I will dig that one out for sure. I'll show you a few more for now that we can see within these ones here. I mean, this is where you've got that trail and haven't you? You've got your gems. But then what about this one? Did you do this one, did you?
I did, yeah. And again, it's just trying to show you how, because of this die is going to stay in the cardstock for you, don't feel you've got to use it as one traditional panel. Use it on a slant, cut it about in different angles. It will stay there. It will connect them two areas for you. And then this is another one of mine. This is a technique I do, which is basically using your dies to do engraving instead of cutting. So basically you put too much in the machine so it can't physically cut through it. And then when it does that, it will engrave into your cardstock. So this is just two pieces of mirror card put through the machine at once, and it will actually stay in the card and look like it's been hand engraved.
And then last one for now, I mean, look at that one there. And the thing is, when it comes to even these little techniques, maybe you don't always see Jamie do them here, but I know certainly on your Facebook you do like little videos and that. Is it on your YouTube
I have, yeah. I went for a whole little month of doing virtually one a day. I've got to get back to them, but I've been very busy, so they've sort of had to go on a back burner. But hopefully as we get back to Christmas, I'll have a little bit more time to go back to doing a few more videos as well. There's only so many hours in the day, isn't there, Craig? We sort of struggle with it. Yeah. So much we want to do and so much we want to share with you. It's just trying to fit in enough time to do it.
Yeah, but do worthwhile, check them out because there is lots of really good little tips, but then techniques as well. What we're going to do is we're going to stay with Sue Wilson Festive Slimline Collection with the 38 dies. You know, I didn't even show you in here as much as what you could be doing with them. As I said, we will be showing you them throughout the day when Jamie's here with Joe and Leanne, and then Joe and then Jan. So here we go. Let's, I tell you what, we'll come back. We'll have another look at these just shortly. But Jamie, what are you going to be doing with them? Okay,
so this is the card we're going to do. We're going to play around with them Slimline dies by Sue, and we're just going to very easily layer them. It's not complicated, very simple, but hopefully very elegant card. And before we start this, because I always forget to do this, Craig, so I'm going to mention it while I think of it, because you're just talking about inspiration. Sue does a daily blog post every day at 6 a.m. that she has done every day for 10 years. 10 years. She's never missed a day, even when she's on holiday. She's currently on holiday at the moment. I'm a little bit jealous. But there are still daily blog posts coming up every single day. So when we look at these collections by Sue, do go check out her blog. It's called Piercecraft, but if you search Sue Wilson blog on whatever search engine you use, she'll appear. And as I mentioned, 10 years, post every day. It's about 3,500 posts to work back through. But if you want more inspiration with these, or you want to know more about the cards Craig's been sharing with you, there will be most of them posted, so you can actually have a little read of how she's done them, if that helps.
Brilliant, thank you.
So for this card, what we're going to do is we're going to use that lovely holly die. Now again, with this one, it's one that doesn't have an outside blade attached to it. You will receive the blade in your packet, or the die in your packet. So if you do wish to cut it out as a freestanding item like this, then you can just nest the two together and send them through and cut it out. But again, that gives us more freedom, because it means that that will stay in the card like the diagonal card that Craig held up. So if you don't want to cut it away completely, or you just want to cut it away on one side, you can do that. Okay. It also means with our nesting dies that we've brought you today, we can bring them in and lay them around it and cut that out as a panel once again. So you've got different size frames that you might then wish to layer up on top of and do different things with as well. Right. So again, just trying to give you as much freedom as we can. Now for this card, I was actually planning on using this panel as you see it, but I've got one of those glued down already. So instead what I thought I would share with you is how quick and easy this is to just snip this free, because I don't think till you see it, do you believe how A, easy this is to do, and B, how pretty this is. And I should have thought to pre-prepare one, but I didn't. So we'll do it with this one, just so you can see it. You can take a little bit more time at home. You can neaten up these edges slightly more if you wish to. But it's nice that you can see.
You can see how quick it can be.
Just one more. There we go. Oh, I missed one on the side. They're typical of me telling you it's quick. There we go. And then we have our freestanding element. So straight away we can see with this how we can start bending that and curving that. Or maybe, as Craig mentioned, we'd like to go in and start cutting pieces out of it. So you've got different areas straight away. Or maybe you'd like that sort of twiddle or twirl to come out of your foliage, so we can start taking these parts away and going in for just that part instead. If we go back to thinking about where them flowers were earlier, or them poinsettias, and start thinking about putting one of those over the top of it, we can see very quickly how we can start adding in them pieces and joining them together. So as mentioned, very good for sort of using as separate pieces. Even these bits that we sort of cut off and would discard necessarily, those once again tucked in under your flowers look quite nice, quite subtle, especially with some of the smaller areas. So lots of ways we can use them too. Now on this one, I was going to stick this down onto a flat panel like so here. So I've sort of been naughty and gone off on a tangent. But what we're going to do is we're going to add on our glitter bits. So for this, I'm just going to use some of our Cosmic Shimmer glue, and we're going to go in and I'm going to do some dots onto our berries. Now I'm using a wet glue for this because many of you would know about obviously quickie glue pens or glue pens in general, and adding your glitter on with those. But when we do that, it's going to dry very flat because there's no texture and depth to the glue. By using our dries clear glue, or any PVA glue really, but this one in particular, it's going to keep its height, it's going to make the berry more rounded, it's going to give you more dimension. So we'll just add on a few of these. I get a bit carried away with things like this. So I'll do a few, and then before you know, I've done the whole panel.
The whole lot's done.
But we're going to bring in the glitter bits. Now, glitter bits, these are incredible. These are free size particles of glitter in one jar. So when we look at them, you see that really intense sparkle straight off the bat. That's because we've got all them different size particles dancing in the light. So all I would do with these is just sprinkle them on and then leave it to dry for probably about 10-15 minutes. And then shake off the excess. If we do it too soon, then our blobs of glue may well move.
Right, yeah.
So it's better if you can just do it, leave it to one side and come back to it. But as a glitter, this is one I go back to time and time again.
Right, okay.
I really like this over double-sided tape for borders. I also use it over foam tape to make really nice sparkly stopper bits or frames for my cards. It just works.
Yeah.
Really nicely.
The details for the bundle's actually on your screen. When we come back to me though, we will have a look at them in a wee bit more detail.
So carrying on with our card, we're going to change things up slightly more on this one. We're going to go for our loopy frame set, our nested frames, and we're going to keep that one as a solid. And we're going to take that and we're going to place that straight down onto our cards. We've got sort of a white on white effect, which I quite like because it looks like it's been embossed.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. Then we're going to bring in some green cardstock to match in with the holly panel. We're going to place that down next. I see you did a quiz on your Facebook the other day about how you apply glue, what patterns you put the glue on with. Yeah. That did make me chuckle because I was like, I don't even know if I fall into a category. Mine's sort of a swirl and a dot and a bit of hope, really.
Yeah,
But quite interesting reading all the different answers that people had. I had, when I used to teach lessons, I had one lady who used to write words. Really? She would write little messages in the glue, and they were like little secret messages to the person she was sending the card to. And I always thought that was quite a lovely idea.
That's really lovely,
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I thought that was quite a cool idea.
And you wouldn't really be sending a card to someone that you dislike, would you?
Oh, so. No. There's always polite messages. They weren't abusive.
Well, you never know. You never know.
I just thought that was quite a nice little idea. And then we've added on my Noel down the side here. Now with the Noel, I've gone ahead, I've cut this out of red, and then I've cut a square or a rectangle out of gold and just put it behind it so that that shines through. We're then going to add in some mini flowers. Now we have a lovely little accessory set that Craig held up that's got the Christmas tree and different bits in that one. What it also has is these really cool little poinsettias that are already cut for us, and they have this cool little embossed detail that's on the petals too. So just taking a couple of these and sticking them together, little gem in the middle, and you've got a really nice embellishment that you can then add on to your project.
Really cute.
So again, just a couple of these dotted around. We're going to go over one at the top here. We're going to bring one in about halfway-ish, and then we'll add another one down. Let's go for there. We'll add that one on there. Can we fit on a fourth? Oh, let's go for it. Let's add one down here. We should work in even numbers really, shouldn't we? But odd numbers even, but never mind. We'll go for the 4. But that's, as I say, very quick, very simple, very easy to do. Just playing around with a couple of dies from that set from Sue.
How beautiful is that? Really, really is beautiful. And as Jamie was showing you earlier, even if you snipped into some of the bits, it could then fit onto a 4x6 card if you just make them smaller, of course. Lots of different ways. There has been so many comments of love for you, Jamie, and what you've been making so far. We've got Marsha, Mary, we've got Jamie, Miriam, we've got Renee is saying, so confused, does piercing mean you can thread it? And then question mark embroidery. So yeah.
If you want to, yeah, they're not designed in such a way that there are brands now that are doing them where they even like emboss you for your stitch marks and that. These aren't necessarily designed for it, but if you want to stitch them like them lovely cards shown by Craig that Christine done, you can do. So it's not a have to, it's an option if you would like to.
Absolutely. Thank you for that one, Jamie. So yeah, there is loads and loads of comments. We will make sure that Jamie sees them just so he knows. It's just that there has been so much. I believe it's Chloe that's on the comments at the moment. So we've seen them, acknowledged them, and we'll make sure Jamie sees them as well. So thank you, because there's so much love for Jamie and what he brings to us. Right, let's have a look at these glitter bits. 3-piece bundle here, where you're going to get, well, 3 pieces. You're going to be getting your green, you're going to be getting your red, and you're going to be getting your gold as well. So all 3 of these ones you're going to be getting for £12.15 or $17.62. You are going to be saving 10%. If you are platinum, that is going to come down to £9.72 or $14.10. And you've seen Jamie use some of these just a moment ago when it comes to the red. So that's one option that we have got. And then what we've also got is the glitter jewels. So these ones also being a 3-piece, you are £12.15 or $17.62. If you are platinum, that comes down to £9.72 or of course $14.10. Really, really nice to create that little bit of sparkle when it comes to your cards or your projects. So as I say, that is platinum price, £9.72, £14.10. $14.10. You will find them on Shop the Day Across on our website, so just have a look. You'll see what Jamie's been bringing you so far, as well as what Jan showed you earlier, as well as what's on the remaining of the day. Right, we've not got long left, so we're going to go straight back to Jamie so we can get one last demo in. This is, I believe, from the Piercecraft 5-piece collection, $78.99 or $114.49. If you are platinum, it comes down to $63.19, $91.59. Gives you all of that. Jamie, what else can we do?
So we mentioned stitching, didn't we? I'll be honest with you, that is not my strong point at all. So when I was playing with these, and especially after I'd seen Christine's incredible work with her stitching, I was like, how can I find a hack to do this? So I'm going to introduce you to my little hack for faux stitching. So this is the card that we're going to do, and this is the effect we're going to achieve. Now, hopefully on your screens, you're looking at that and thinking I've spent absolutely hours stitching in all those details, going hole to hole with some white thread. Sadly not, it is all a con. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off by talking about the die. So we're going to use our bauble die set for this one. And again, this, just like the other two we've been talking about, it has that separate outside cutting blade. So it's down to you whether you'd like to cut it out so it's got a small frame to it, or whether you'd like to leave it in your cardstock so it's got a wider frame. I've opted for this card to have a wider frame around it. So just again, if we bring that in, you can see the size difference. I've literally just used my guillotine for this one and then trimmed it round to leave me that sort of 3/4 of an inch on the side there. When we bring this in and we talk about our stitching, this is what I'm on about, faux stitching. I'm going to use a white gel roll pen, but to be honest with you, this could be any form of pen that you want to be using, and colours can of course vary. And all I'm going to do is just draw little lines in between each of the holes to make it look like I have spent a long time stitching it, where in reality all I've done is doodled. And it's that simple to give yourself a little stitch effect. And to be honest, even if you go offline, even if it's slightly wonky, I don't think that matters. I don't think it shows. I think it actually adds to it, gives it a little bit more believability. Again, colour-wise, doing this with a black pen looks really nice. If you've got a black fine liner, really nice way to add in details. But you can do as much or as little as you want to. Again, if you just want to focus on one area or one bauble, you can do. This bauble die, again, is quite easy to trim out. So if you would like to use them as individual pieces, you can do as well.
Oh, well, we've got Charlotte and Johnny in the gallery today, and we've got Charlotte who's going, right, if you thought George can get in close, you should see what Charlotte can do.
It's a good setup, isn't it? They're a good team to see that much detail. But it's so easy to do. You know, that's really not complicated. And why we've got the close-up, I'll swap this one, because you don't want to watch me do that for the next 20 minutes. Here's one I've already done. So as you can see, all of that detail, you can play around with your patterns. You know, maybe you'd like to bring out the stitches going off the tops. Maybe you want to use different colour pens. True. You know, focusing on different areas in different colours, using metallic pens for little sparkly areas or whatever. This to me is something, when I was doing mine, I die cut them in the day, I sit in the evening while I'm watching my favourite box sets and do this, because you don't have to pay that much attention to it, and you can have one eye on the telly and one eye doing your stitching, and it's very easy because all you need is a board or a lap tray and a pen, and it's one of them sort of crafts you can really do in front of the telly. We say it every now and again, but it's not always as easy as that, is it? No. This to me is something you could be batch doing whilst you're sitting there watching the telly easily. So same with that one, same with my little flower. So I've done exactly the same for my poinsettia too. Gone and added all the stitches, thank you. And then I've done the same for my layering plate as well. So again, just around that, because it's all matching. They've all got them details on them to add to, so why not continue the theme? So let's bring these in and layer this up, shall we? So same colour card onto the base already. This is our denim cardstock from Creative Expressions. But again, it doesn't have to be a blue. It could easily be nice reds and greens for Christmas. Nice hunter green style cardstock could look really pretty.
Maybe give you a different look each time depending on the colour you're using.
Exactly. And if you wanted to cut the baubles out a different colour card and layer them over the top, you could do it that way as well, and then stick to the same colour pen maybe. It's just lots of options for you.
There really is.
With this whole collection, and we sort of highlighted it when you were showing the mirror card samples earlier, I really wanted simple cards that if you're going to make them to sell, because you know we know a lot of people do that, we don't always have that much time, do we? No. Or maybe we want to batch make hundreds of them to sell. I feel these give you that effect of quite a lot of work looks like they've gone into them without actually, hopefully, doing as much. But if you want to, you can do. Then we'll add in our poinsettia off to one side, and that will complete our card. So again, very simple, very easy, just a bit of doodling and a few cuts, and you can create that style of effect.
That style with the navy and obviously the highlight of your white gel pen, again, I'm going to say it looks elegant, it looks sophisticated, and as you said, it is one of those that you could sit at night time and do it. Because I don't know about you, I know some people when, if they're doing shows and they're prepping, they'll watch a box set that they can follow. I can't do that because then I think I'm paying attention to it, and then I come back and watch the next episode and I realise I've not been paying attention. Whereas something like that, you do the bits you need to do and then you can just sit and watch the TV. That I could do.
My very sad trick is I watch the same things time and time again. Sometimes I feel like I live in an underground bunker with only 10 TV shows because I just watch the same ones again. You don't then really have to keep up with it, but you know the storyline and it's something there to keep you sort of entertained.
That's exactly what I do. When I do watch things, when I am prepping, it is things that I've seen time and time again so that I can know what's going on. Rightio, let's do a demo of the show. So if Jamie, if you don't mind getting your demos lined up for me so that we can then start to do the vote. So we'll start with what Jan has done. So number 1 or number 2. and then we'll go across to Jamie, who's just setting his up. So we have got on the left-hand side, number 3, and then number 4, and then number 5. Thank you for that one, Jamie. You've got a couple of minutes. Chloe's going to gather in the votes and see which one is demo of the show. Right, here we go. Let's have a look on this screen. This is going to be a little bit easier for the end of the show to have a look at. This being the Jamie Rogers Piercecraft 5-piece die collection. 16 dies in total, $78.99 or $114.49. You are saving 10% if you are platinum. And I keep saying this, but even when, like said, Jamie and Creative Expressions are here, you still get your Club Inspire. $63.19 platinum or $91.59. So that was the first main one that we had a look at. Then what we also looked at that's going to complement everything that we've got today from Creative Expressions, Jamie and Sue Wilson, that is the Jamie Rogers Pierce Sentiment Craft Collection with 12 dies. £19.95 or $28.92. You are going to save over 15%. If you are platinum, that does come down to £15.96 or $23.14. Jamie used these earlier on, and you can see how you can have a different slant when it comes to using them. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at Sue Wilson's festive slimline collection. So this is where you're going to get 38 dies. Now in total you are going to be £103.49 or $149.99. If you are platinum, that comes down considerably to £82.79 or $119.99. And these give you so much versatility, let's do the other ones, as to what you can create in your crafty cards. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the sparkles. Let's have a look at the glitter jewels. This is your 3-piece bundle, £12.15 or $17.62. Still got that 10% saving, but if you are platinum, that comes down to under £10, £9.72 or $14.10. We're going to stick with the sparkle, and we're going to have a look at the glitter bits. This is your 3-piece bundle, £12.15, $17.62, also giving you that saving of 10%. That also comes down to under £10 at £9.72 or $14.10. You don't have to go rummaging or reading the website for these ones. You can, of course, just go up to the search on crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au, put Jamie Rogers, or of course put in Creative Expressions or Sue Wilson's, and then you're going to find everything that we've got in stock on our website. Easiest thing to have a look at when it comes to what Jamie's brought today is going to Shop the Day. You'll have seen what myself and Jan showed you earlier on Wake Up Call. You'll see what Joe and Leanne have got with you on Craft Along, then again with Jan and Joe on later on Beautiful Beginnings, but then it also features everything that Jamie's brought as well. Rightio, just while we get these votes in, Jamie, you are back again later on.
I am.
You are on 4 o'clock, is it?
4 o'clock, yeah.
You're going to be 4 o'clock. And so you're going to be on, so Leanne's going to be on for the first 2 hours with our Craft Along. That's 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. So Leanne will be here for the first 2 hours. You'll be in for that third hour.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And then you're going to be back again for Beautiful Beginnings, and that's that whole 3 hours starting off at 6 p.m. here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And let me tell you, we are, well, we, the royal we, not that I'll be in, be showing you lots and lots and lots of finished samples as well, because Jamie very, very kindly has brought in loads to give you lots of ideas, lots of inspiration as well. We're just waiting on that vote coming in. Tomorrow I'm going to be back in. I am going to be in with also a Craft Along, and well, I'm going to be here for Wake Up Call and then the Craft Along as well. I've just put out earlier on a TikTok just to give you a sneak peek as to what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Check that one out, but the details will come up very, very soon. We've got a winner. Chloe saying it was very, very close though, and it actually goes to, unfortunately, Jamie, it goes to Jan.
That is well deserved.
It's number 1.
That is well deserved.
Number 1.
Jan's work is incredible.
But it could have been any of the 5 of them, that is for sure. Once again, thank you so much for all your comments. We'll make sure Jamie does say them. Thank you to Chloe. I will see you tomorrow on Crafters TV. We're back together again. It's me and Ben. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? I'm actually way around his house to see the puppy. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I love working with you. I will see you tomorrow. Jamie, I'll see you later on in Craft Along. And take care. Have crafty fun. I'll see you then.